That is the most important lesson for life. She herself had learnt this lesson at the School of Hard Knocks. That was what she called being married to my grandfather. His name was Randall Scropes, and he farmed mealies near Stanger in Natal. After he got married to my grandmother, he got up one morning and he said, "No more mealies." He said, I am destined to become a great inventor. And his plan was to invent a low-cost tractor. So he went to a scrapyard and he bought an old Ford sedan, and he took it home and he took the back mudguards off it and he put very big tractor wheels on the back. And then, to prevent the driver from slipping under the steering wheel, he tipped the seat back. And then he made similar adjustments. He tipped the headlights in front back to prevent them from shining downwards into the ground. These convenient refinements did not impress my grandmother. She said the trouble broke out when old Randall got hold of a book, a copy of a condensed book in the Reader's Digest series. It was about an insurance salesman who gave up his job and became an inventor. The book said, it's very important in life to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you strike out, and you must not be afraid of risks. That's what my grandfather did. When his invention was ready for the showroom, he poured a bottle of beer into the radiator and he gave it a name. He called it the Farmer's Friend. And then he took it out and he put it by the side of the R519 road. And he hung up a sign in front of it, a painted sign which said, "For sale, the Farmer's Friend." And then he announced to the neighbours that he had released his invention into the world market. But there were no inquiries. He was forced to adopt American methods. He dug a trench across the road, and then when motorists stopped to see what they were going to do about the trench, he jumped out of the bushes and he dragged them over to see his invention. He said, the magic about the Farmer's Friend is that it costs 1/10 of the price of a John Deere or a Massey Ferguson. But to be fair, there were weaknesses. A Ford sedan found on a scrapyard is seldom at the peak of its condition. But when old Randall started the Farmer's Friend up, it belched out huge clouds of smoke, and people thought it was a steam engine. My grandmother completely lost patience. She said he simply refused to grasp that it's just an old Ford with tractor wheels on the back. She paid some farm labourers to come in the dead of night and take it away. The very next day, old Randall discovered his loss. He went out and he came straight back in. And he said, "The farmer's friend, it's been stolen." He suspected industrial espionage. My grandmother lost patience with him completely. She began to encourage his suspicions. She encouraged them so well that many years later he would say, "You know, it was my destiny to make tractors in life. But cutthroat competitors stole my patent." When I left school, my grandmother took me aside and she said to me, well, she spoke frankly to me. She said, "Your grandfather came of a long line of never-do-wells. You have the same vacant look in your eye. I greatly fear for your future." Well, things have not gone badly, really. I seem to have fallen on my feet, I think, because I have invented an oil for noisy gearboxes. I apply groundbreaking principles of advanced liquid engineering. I added sawdust, and I called my product the motorist's friend. Thank you. Thank you.